We're live. Hey, baby. Coming to you live from Bliss Ranch in Yosemite, California. Thank you for joining me. Yep, I got my props on. I know I've told some of you that story. Oh, wait, I got another prop. I'll be right back. I forgot about that one. I can't find it. I was going to tell you all a story. Well, hey, thanks for joining me this morning. I do have a special guest that I'm going to interview. He's not in character, so he didn't have his cowboy hat on. But I wanted to bring him on and interview him this morning for you because he epitomizes what I wanted to talk about this morning. Again, I know I talk about it a lot, but it is the nature of our business. It's the nature of any business. Last night I was playing poker till late at night with a bunch of buddies up here in the hills, a bunch of just construction guys, good friends that we play poker about once a month if I'm here, which is only once or twice a year. And I just noticed how their businesses totally rely on word of mouth. One of them has a concrete business, a couple of them are general contractors, one of them's a tile guy, one of them's a mortgage guy, one of them has a boat rental business. And the other one's a chef at a restaurant. But all their businesses rely on word of mouth, people telling other people. They don't advertise. They just do good work and build good relationships, and eventually takes time, if you're going to start a concrete business here in the foothills of California where there's already a bunch of concrete businesses or a general contractor business, it's going to take you 4 or 5, 6 years to break in. Right? You're going to have to work and pay your dues and build relationships and kind of carve out your own niche in the community, your own credibility. It's going to take 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 years before you've got a booming business. It's that way in any business. In our business, most of us that are listening to me are network marketers. So, hey, it's the same thing. You want to build a network, you got to build relationships, you got to build credibility. You gotta have enough people like what you're doing to, maybe they're not referring it necessarily like they would a construction business, but they're joining you because they trust you and they like you. And my guest today is the number one in our profession, more than anybody else. And I think I know most people that are high profile in our profession. More than anybody else in our profession, he epitomizes the distinction of networker, because he just spends his day connecting with people, serving people, listening to people, helping people with all things that don't have anything to do with his business. The number of times that he's helped Kimmy and I personally with challenges that we've had where he knew people and connected us with people and solved problems for us is, it's immeasurable, the price that we would put on that relationship. And because that's who he is and that's what he's been doing for his entire network marketing career, and because network marketing has this very unique feature that no other business model on the planet has, where everybody can enroll other people. And of course, we all know that, right? Okay, well, yeah, of course, everybody can build a team. Everybody can recruit. Everybody can build a sales team. Everybody can have a team of 4. They can have a team of 14, or they can have a team of 140 or 1,400 if they want. How is that? Because everybody can recruit. Yeah, you might have to check a box. You might have to buy a kit. But every customer can recruit other customers. So people can get their product for free. People can make an extra $200, $300, $400 a month. Or people can make $1,400 a month or more. Why? Because when everybody can build a sales team, when every customer can enroll other customers, you get this bizarre exponential growth of the business model. Like 4, so I get 4, and they each get 4. I'm not saying that's simple or easy, but that's how it works. I get 4. Might take me 6 months to get 4. Might take me a year to get 4. And they each 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 get 4. You know how those numbers roll out? 4, 16, 64, 256, 1,024, 4,096, over 17,000 at the 5th or 6th generation. And that just keeps going, folks. So, you know, I know a couple that started a business 28 years ago. They got one customer who got a couple of more customers. And then they got a couple more customers. And today they have 2 million customers that buy every month in like 200 countries around the world. That's the craziest business model on the planet. And I want to introduce you to my good friend who epitomizes it. And how's he epitomize it? Well, not only is he a great servant leader and a great ambassador, but he has 1 million people on his team. And he'll be the first to tell you there's only 6 that do anything. 60, 600, 6,000. But hey, it doesn't take very many to produce a 7-figure a year income, which he's been doing every year for the last 10 years or 12 years. And I'm not representing that you will earn 7 figures. You won't. Or the odds are pretty remote that you will. Anything's possible for sure, right? But a keynote speaker at GoPro every year, his wife, keynote speaker at the Most Powerful Women almost every year. I bring to you the most amazing Tom Chenault. Tom hasn't been doing this very long, this whole broadcasting thing, so he's not familiar with the mute button.
What's up, Richard Brooke? I didn't know how to do that. Thank you so much. I don't have like staff like you. It's just me and Dupree. So how's it going, you goat roper from California?
Well, I'm only a goat roper from California 3 weeks a year. The rest of the time I have an Aloha shirt on and I'm like surfer dude.
Oh my
I'm in character.
So envy your life, Richard. I got a little taste of it. It is extraordinary. And what I love most about your entire life is your relationship with your wife. I am in awe of that. And thank you for letting us peek behind the curtain to see how real people do it.
Yeah, well, you got the real deal. I don't know if you saw a fight or not, but if you hang around long enough, you'll see one.
That's really, really cool.
And the only time she and I ever fight is when we both forget in the moment what's more important, to have a great relationship or be right.
Yeah.
And if we're in the mood of being right and blinded in the moment to how it's destroying our relationship in the moment, then we have a fight. But as long as we stay clear that what's more important is relationship and love and mood and energy and respect, then we don't fight. There you go.
That is completely super cool. So good morning, everybody. And I'm excited about this. I don't get to get interviewed very often. I hide actually behind the fact that I ask great questions and then I really pay attention to the answer to those great questions that I ask, because the answers are always better than my questions. So I'm a little uncomfortable today. I just moved into a new office, so there was nothing in here. And so I stuck some books up behind me and I found one of Kimmy Brooks' 4-year career books there on the shelves in the boxes because they packed me out, moved everything around. But I am honored to be here with you. And all I want to do is tell everybody to look past nobody. I don't care if that's the waitress, the busboy, whomever. I was over at Aunt Alice's restaurant, a terribly, terrible, greasy spoon just about a block from my office where I can get bacon and eggs for $5. And I'm so frugal, I did that. So I was talking to the woman, and she was telling me about her uncle who is internationally famous. And having asked her a question And, you know, you take a look at my buddy Scott Johnson. He's a concrete guy here in town. He's driving all over the place, and his uncle is the My Pillow guy. I
Oh
mean,
no.
everybody knows somebody, and it just blows my mind that everybody's got a famous relative, and everybody truly knows somebody really influential. And I'm going to prove it right now. You people all know, like one of the most famous guys on the planet, because you know Richard Brooke. So it's that simple. Look past no one, map everybody, and you win.
So tell me about Map Everybody. So you are the top distributor in a company called Longevity, and you also own with your son Contact Mapping, which is, if I have to bring it up. I'm preempting you, right? Because I know you're going to bring it up. But Contact Mapping, talk about that. Talk about like why you developed that tool and how that applies to building a network. And then also, I'll ask you again about it to laser in on it, but we want to hear about the coffee shop interview and just how you've used these tools to build a network. Because here's the epitome of a networker, and this is Tom Chenault. And it's not just me; it's a lot of people all over the globe. If we need something and we don't know the guy or the gal, if we need something and we don't happen to know the guy or the gal, oh yeah, I know who can solve that problem. I know who can get me in that restaurant. I know who can fix this for me. We call Tom Chenault because like 10 times more than anybody in second place in my life, Tom knows the person. He's like the fixer, right? If you got a problem, call Tom. He'll fix it. Why? Because he has this huge network. So how did you build that network, Tom? What's the secret to building a network of people that like and trust you?
So I call it the BLTSs. And everybody in my life, I want them to know that they belong. I want them to know that I love them truly, that they can trust me and they're safe with me. And I know for a fact that if any one of those four are missing, they're just going to give me lip service. And I know that if I've got all four present with somebody, Richard Brooke, right now he's in California, but should he be in Hawaii? If I were in the jackpot, I know that I could call Richard Brooke and he'd be on an airplane to come and see me to help me solve the problem. And it's vice versa. I had a guy, a woman, take my face, put somebody else's body on it, and blackmail me on the internet for about 2 months. And it was horrible. I was freaking out because of a looking good. I thought for sure that people would believe I would do that, which was preposterous, but she convinced me. I called Richard. He said, "Are you an idiot?" And then I called Eric Worre, and he was on a boat off the coast of Greece. And he picked up the phone and called Tony Robbins' CFO, because Tony went through all that stuff, because I've got the BLTs with these guys, but I'm also committed that they've got the BLTs with me, and they can call me and I'm going to drop everything I've got to solve that problem. But you have to have everything you've got for them to call you. And how do you do that? You take your database and you turn it into what it's supposed to be, which is information about those people nobody else has. So when the chips go down, they can call me and I'm going to find the answer. People call me all the time about going to Las Vegas and they can't get in a restaurant, or they can't get this, they can't get that. I know the guy in Vegas, and I'm going to call that guy and I'm going to say, "Hey, listen, I got some friends there and I need this, I need that." Wherever it is in the world, and you guys all know I've been going to an AA meeting for the last 12,000 days in a row. And there's not a day that goes by that somebody from somewhere I've been in the world calls me trying to find somebody to help somebody in another part of the world. And I've got the ability to solve that problem in a flash, because everybody in my database, I can look them up. Instead of trying to pull my memory on things, I can pull it up instantly and say, "I know your guy in Birmingham, Alabama. Call my friend Joe. He'll solve it." And that's all I live for, is to contribute and not treat people like prospects, Richard, but to treat them like human beings that I can serve. And everybody calls it the slow boat to China. It's so much faster than anything else you're doing. Plus, it lasts an eternity. And you're so pissed off, all of you, when somebody misses your birthday or doesn't remember something about you. But guess what? You don't take any responsibility for the fact that that's about what you remember about them. And we've just got to become better rememberers, I think, Richard. Fire our brain, hire our hearts, and do that. That's that simple. So long answer, sorry.
No, it's a beautiful answer. And so there's a distinction here that I like to create for people, and it's the difference between doing networking and being a networker. So what Tom's talking about so far is being a networker. So when you be a networker, that's not about recruiting. That's not about building your business. That's about building a network, because we are network marketers, which means that we market to our network. We don't cold call. We don't advertise out in the blue for people to look at our products or opportunity. It's all about offering what we do to our network. So if your network's this big, well, you're only going to get probably 1 out of 10 people in your network to even consider buying your product or joining your team. Maybe 1 out of 15, maybe 1 out of 20. So you need a big network if you want to be a network. So what does a networker do? They build a network. They just build people and build trust and build relationship, and it has nothing to do with recruiting or prospecting. But when it is time to do business, how do you do business, Tom? So you and I have, let's say, a relationship. And one of the things that you do in that process is if we're on the phone, you're not telling, or on a coffee shop or even social media chatting, you're not telling me all about you and what you're doing and how your business is going and where you went on summer vacation. You're asking me questions. And you're listening to the answers, which is like the hugest distinction in the world, right? Because most of us ask a question, and while the person is answering the question, we're talking to ourselves. In fact, we're even interrupting the person who's answering the question. We're not soaking in the answer. So we think we're listening just because we're quiet, but we're not, because we're like chattering away with ourselves. That's not listening. You're a listener. You soak it all in. Now, if I say something like, well, got these 3 kids going to college, I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for that, or, I'm not sure what to do about my whatever ailment. What do you do with that?
I don't do what everybody else does. And that is throw up on them because magically I've got the solution. I hear the story about their sore toe or their money, and I wait a while. It could be a day, it could be an hour. And I call back and I say, I've been thinking about you, because nobody thinks about anybody else. They're thinking about themselves. And you told me you've got a sore toe. I might have an idea for you. I want you to watch this video. It might make sense. It might not. Everything is no for now. And what makes me crazy is that one-time sale. Everybody's pitching that one-time sale, and it really never happens. It's all a matter, and Richard trains us all the time, how many no's you have to go through in order to get a yes. But nobody wants to go get, hey, would you buy, 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 would you buy? No, that isn't that. You are constantly looking for the wedge. And the wedge is where it is in their life that what you've got is going to fit into what's going on with them. And so and Richard talked about the coffee shop interview. I constantly send people to get trained on the coffee shop interview so you can find out what's missing in their life and document it. And then when the time comes, that wedge that is you can go into that crack, your product or your business. You're right there because you've reinforced the relationship the whole time. So Richard says, talk to 10 people a day. And he also, in another side of his mouth, talks about one person a day and what would happen. And he does the math on 416, 64, 256, 1024, 4096, finding those four that actually duplicate themselves. But his brilliance isn't there. His brilliance is in the 100. He says go out and put 100 people on auto ship, knowing full well 80 of them are going to be customers, 15 are going to be distributors, and 4 of them are going to recognize your integrity, see the success in what you're doing, say, here's what I do. You should do what I do, not what I say. And then show those people that you are dropping all 100 off right where they want to be, knowing full well that it's only no for now. And if you do a good job of being the best customer service person on the planet, they're going to say, I want to make a little more money and become a distributor. They're going to see you've got so much integrity in the way that you present that they're going to say, sheesh, I want to be an influencer. I want to be one of your 4 or 5. I want to bring in the success that you're bringing in. And the rest from there is history. And it all bounced right back to that coffee shop interview, that conversation that you had that you keep adding onto to make them feel heard, remembered, loved. And if you do that, you are going to have this, your database is going to be so fluid, so alive, so empowered by the virtue of the fact that you remembered them first instead of pitched them. You're not going to believe it, you guys. I promise you this works. And I'm going to throw one more sentence at you. Everybody talks about getting into action. We don't know how to do that. So you need a system. What the hell is a system? You need a culture. Wonderful. We all love vitamins and minerals, or we all love oils, or we all love what we love. But what you are missing that you've got to create is that community. I go to my AA meeting every day. I've read that first 164 pages of that book every day for the last 33 years. I'm not going there to learn anything. I'm going there to hear from my friends, help my friends, and set it up so when I'm in trouble, my friends help me. Exactly what you're doing in network marketing, but you don't know it. That's it. It's so doggone simple. People try to go out and do the widgets and the click funnels and all that horse manure. And at the end of the day, it's just about the human being in front of you or across the table or in Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger. However you do it, you've got to develop those relationships to create retention. And retention is what creates the checks. I promise it's true.
It is true.
And I learned it from you.
Oh, yeah, right. So I got to show you guys something. Can you see what I screen shared, the random cards?
Wow.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see it?
Yeah.
All right. So I found this tool, or actually Susie did, online. So I just want to give you a sense of like what building a network is like. And I always liken it to, I like playing poker. So, a deck of cards. So if you shuffle up a deck of cards, really good, like a legitimate, totally good deck. How many aces are in the deck, Tom?
4.
Are you sure?
Correct. 4.
You're absolutely sure.
1000% sure.
So if we shuffled up a deck and we flipped over 47 cards and none of them were an ace, what would you bet that the next card is an ace?
All the money.
All of it? I mean, think about it. Would you bet your house?
I would bet my house.
You got to ask Denise about that. Denise, I'm about to bet the house on a card.
Correct.
But think about it, right? So then think about it this way. So what if you started flipping over cards and you flipped over 10 cards that weren't an ace? Would you be more depressed that the next card's probably not going to be an ace? Like, would you think, oh, I flipped over 10 cards and none of them are an ace, so there's probably not an ace in the deck? Or would you be more optimistic that an ace is coming on card 11?
I would be more optimistic.
So use a deck of cards. You guys can all use this to teach your teams, but mostly to teach yourself how to have the right mindset of a network marketer. So if you're a networker, what you're doing is building relationships, building connections, serving people, listening to people, finding out what's missing in people's lives, and maybe you have a solution, meeting people where people are at, right? So it's not like you're driving down the road at 80 miles an hour with your awesome products and opportunity, and you see somebody walking on the side of the road. You don't like pull over at 80 miles an hour and open the door and say, "Get in, we're going to the top." You slow down to about 2 miles an hour and roll your window down and maybe ask somebody where you're headed. And what a networker does is they just do this. Like they do it 2 times a day, 5 times a day. If you just did it 1 time a day, every day, you'd put yourself not in the top 1 out of 100, not even top 1 out of 1,000. You'd be more like 1 out of 5,000 if you just talk to 1 person a day. But here's where people lose it. So I've never done this before on screen share. So let's see. So we're going to flip over a card, and the value of the card, folks, is going to indicate whether or not the person you're talking to is ready, whether or not they have a problem big enough that they want your products, or they have a financial problem big enough that they want your opportunity. It's all about ready. That's it, just ready. And if they're not ready today, maybe they'll be ready 6 months from now or 6 years from now. This is a long game. I've been doing this full time for 45 years. So people maybe not ready today, maybe they're ready 5 years from now. That's okay with me. 15 years from now is okay with me. So when we flip over a card, what I want you to look at and feel in your body is the readiness of the person that you may have decided, okay, I'm going to ask them if they'd like to take a look today. Okay, that didn't work. Hey, Susie, how do you think I make this card flip? Oh, there it is. Click on it. So this person's a 4, right? What does it mean? Doesn't mean they're not a leader. Doesn't mean they're not ambitious. Just means today they're not ready, right? So what happens to most people that are like, oh, they said no. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. So they go talk to somebody else, and they talk to somebody who's not any more ready than the first person. And then they go talk to a third person, and they're not much more ready. Do you know that almost everybody in network marketing after the 7 of diamonds is quitting? They're quitting right now. Why? Because they don't understand how this works. They think the more people who say no, the better the odds are the next person's going to say no. And it sounds like nobody wants to do this. I can't find anybody to do this. Or the last 3 people I sponsored quit. So these cards even reflect, folks, people that you enroll. So you enroll a 4. What does that mean? It just means they're not going to make it, right? They're not ready to build. They're not ready to be motivated. Then you enroll 5. They don't make it. Then you enroll 7. They don't make it. So we develop this attitude, everybody I enroll quits. So I better quit. But the people that make it, they enroll a 10. Now, what's a 10 do for you? Well, they're better than a 4, right? Maybe they're not your leader. They're not somebody who's going to build a huge leg for you, but they're not going to like bring you down either. So maybe you enroll another one, or you talk to another one. Now you're down again, right? Not if you understand how this works. If you understand how this works, you just keep talking to people, offering people the opportunity, enrolling people. Just keep it up. Why? Because you know there's 4 aces in every deck. See how many people have quit by now? Either because these cards represent who they've asked to take a look, or the cards represent people they've enrolled. I think I flipped through 10 cards. You enrolled 10 people and they all didn't do anything? Most people quit. Oh my gosh. This is just like steak in the heart, right? These are, oh, there it is right there. I don't know what number that is, probably close to 15. And you know what? That's my experience is the numbers are about 1 out of 10, 10 out of 15, 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 10 or 15. Almost how many aces are in a deck. And what happens when you and I talk to an ace? This is somebody who says, wow, I've been looking for this. Wow, I need this product. I love this product. Oh my gosh, I'm ready for an opportunity like this. What does that do for our psyche? Right? Sets us on fire. Or you enroll somebody that's an ace. What does that look like? Looks like somebody that says, okay, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. I'm ready to roll. Here's some people to talk to. They rank advance, they build a business. It's all about whether or not people are ready and how much you know about them and how you listen to them. And that's my circus trick. Tom.
And that is brilliant. And there's a case to be made that every card you turn, you get a little smarter.
Yeah.
That's awesome, you know? And as you head toward 52 and you're just going, I mean, if you can just look at how that happened and understand that this is all consistency and practice, the light is going to turn on. You're going to hit that tipping point that even when they say no, it's just no for now because you used the coffee shop interview the right way and you didn't run them out the door because they had something else going on in their life. You honored their decision. You kept them alive for the day that there's a crack in the armor with their job or something like that. And all of my buddy Mike Bowers, talking about childhood friends, 4-time world foosball champion, believe it or not, calls a couple days ago, got prostate cancer, told me everybody's got cancer, prostate cancer. I said, not really, Mike. He said, well, how, you know, he's got this gravelly voice and he's just smart. And he said, I got to try that stuff, Tom. I do not want that surgery. What do I take? And, you know, it was no for now for 30 years. But I wasn't prospecting him for 30 years. He came looking for me after 30 years because I never shamed him for what he was doing on the other side of the coin. Protect your relationships at all costs. If you're consistent, they're going to come back around and find you when they are ready. And you're going to go from selling, which is hard, to enrolling people in a possibility of a better life because you're showing them that that's what you've got. It's so different, so much more doable, and doesn't take that great intellect that everybody supposedly needs. It takes a big heart, which everybody really has.
Love like crazy, fire your brain, hire your heart.
Yep.
Oh, love like love, then love more. I gotta get some. All I got's like a cowboy shirt. I gotta get some.
Oh, no. We had a problem and we finally fixed it. So we had this company called Teespring that just didn't have a big size. So we got a new one and we got one for you. So that was a great job. That was a total lie, everybody, but I love Richard so much that I had to do it. Yeah. So if you'll just tell me you'll wear them, I'll send you everything. I've got I Love Misfits, Love Like Crazy, Then Love More, Fire Your Brain, Hire Your Heart. I got them all for you, Richard.
I know, but you don't have my size because, you know.
We do. And I was going to say one more thing to you.
Go ahead.
Do you know what I've got? So actually in that office, we've got an AA shirt. So, because I'm an AA guy every day,
yeah.
And it's my new favorite one and it's selling more than anything else. And it is for AA, for Alcoholics Anonymous, everybody. The best thing I love about sex is that I now remember it. So I love that. So that's my new t-shirt that makes people mad in coffee shops.
That's AA. I love it. Hey, I got to run down to General Store, the Raymond General Store, and meet my high school buds for breakfast. It's our last hurrah. But we would be remiss if we didn't take like 2 minutes and share with people where can they learn how to do what we're talking about. And you know, because you just went through it, I have such a program. I have such a program where they can learn how to do what we're talking about. And it starts Monday, and it's called Momentum Masterclass. There's 3 levels of it. Pre-launch, which teaches people the mindset of it and how to create their story. And then there's launch, which comes after, which is how to ask people to listen to your story 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. And then there's leadership, and the whole thing's designed to teach you how to be an authentic network marketer, an authentic networker. How do you be in network marketing in a way that doesn't alienate everybody? How do you actually like be your opportunity, be your products, be a network marketer in your company without being one of those spammy pyramid scheme people that nobody likes. How do you do that? There is a way to do it. And here's a clue. If you want to learn how to do that, learn from somebody that's been doing it for 20, 30, 40, or 50 years. Because if you've been a networker that long, you must be doing something right, or your network would have killed you off by now. And Tom and I know how to do this. Tom just went through this momentum masterclass. So Tom, would you give me a 30-second endorsement? And Susie will put the link up again. And oh, there it is right there. Oh, enrollment's closing tomorrow. So there's a deadline. Cool. You went through it. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was magic. I thought it was epic. And a guy that I've been working with forever was in it with me. And then we got into a training with Tom Chenault. And he raised his hand and he said, listen, everything that Tom says, I've heard forever and was never able to hear it. Everything that Richard says, I was able to put to work instantly. So I saw somebody said, is there any place I can find Tom? You don't want to find Tom. You want to find Richard. I'm just the great rememberer. If you want to hone your skills of network marketing, join that program that's closing tomorrow. And then he's got another program that I had to beg him to join. I mean, literally beg you guys. And that's his ongoing coaching, because I need it worse than you do. Because I start believing my paycheck and losing my edge. And every one of us, whether we're old network marketers or really, really young, the name of the game is get the skills and then keep developing them. And I'd forgotten that I needed to keep developing them. I swear to you, this guy changes my life on a regular basis. Even the card deal today gave me a couple of new ideas.
I know you're going to steal that.
And I'm also, I'll own that, but I'm also I may even work in my new magnificent obsession that Richard really, really loves called Wordle, because I think that might work too. So
Wordle's the biggest waste of time on the planet. Hey guys, we got to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us. I hope you got some insights, some tidbits. If you're ready for momentum, join me Monday for pre-launch. Tom, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Y'all have a great Easter.